So for me, when I look at the entire process, I think a lot of it is just the winning factor, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
The states are making a mistake with legislative issues, right? Because they're not trying to look at the best interest of the child. They're looking at, for a lot of people's speculation, it's Title 4D. It's they're incentivized by Title 4D, and that's why they do this. But I think, like, for just the judicial side of things, it's a matter of somebody gets jaded, right? For whatever happened in this post separation issue, and then it's that fight, right?
Yep.
And then that's all it is a win. It's who's going to win this. It's never, the child gets put on the back burner, and then that's where we're at. I went through the divorce process, and my stuff got split between two different states. So I was fighting divorce in Florida. I was fighting child in Virginia, the custody in Virginia,
Okay.
and it's kind of like a race to see who can win, who can get the
Yep.
things on paper first. And I
Yep.
tell you
Yep.
know I try to tell parents all the time, whenever you guys are going to separate or anything else like that, you need to be communicating. And then on top of communicating, what you really need to do is you really need to start thinking about, like, every action I take will affect this child. When you walk into court, did one of you move out of the house? If you did move out of the house, right, it shows that you abandoned that child, and now you're going to have that uphill battle when you get into court. You know, Communicating with each other is what starts. Hey, how are we going to amicably do this? You know.
Right. And there are, so I've heard lots of stories about this, and I think this is probably true to a large extent for my own case as well. A lot of stories where couples will say, or at least one party of the couple will say that they really were not like high conflict. I'm going to use that phrase in air
Mhm.
quotes because we can talk about what that actually
Yeah.
means later. But they really were not high conflict until the first time they walked into a lawyer's office, or maybe when they walked
Mhm.
into that courtroom, right? Like, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
something like, obviously you're getting divorced. You don't have to tell me that you think he's a scumbag. Like, I know that because you're getting divorced, right? Like, whatever happened, if there was infidelity, if she just got bored, if he wanted something, like, whatever. Like, obviously there's something there that's causing a divorce. So I get that there's some level of animosity, or you're not on great terms. But
Mhm.
again, this high conflict idea, you walk into a lawyer's office or a courtroom and you start reading these statutes, and a lawyer explains to you how this is going to go. And he's like, well, we'll just take Georgia because that's where I am. He's like, well, in Georgia, you're both going to come into the courtroom. You're going to make your case, talk to the judge, and then the judge is probably going to order one of you to be a primary parent, which means you're
Mhm.
going to get 80% of the time with the child. You're going to get all decision making authority with the child. You're going to get a fat child support check for the next 18 years, or however long the child is alive, right? And you're basically going to have full control over the terms of how that other parent accesses the child, what extracurriculars the child does, where the child goes to school, medical decisions, all that, the whole thing, right? And so you hear that and you're like, well, wait a second. You just told me, or the judge just told me that, like, we don't pick winners and losers here. This is about the best interest of the child. But then when you laid out the process to me, it sounds like you're picking a winner. And then the next logical step of that is like, well, I want to be the winner, right? So how do I get to be the winner? And it turns into mudslinging. I prove that I'm a
Mhm.
better parent than you. You didn't
Yep.
pick up the kids. You didn't go to the doctor's appointments. You didn't, and I did this. And then now we just escalated, and nobody cares what the best interest of the child is anymore. You're just trying to prove that you're the better parent, right?
Yeah. The winner. That's it.
Right.